Hey guys, so I'm going to show you guys how I meal plan. And I just want to say, first of all, you're going to hear my kids and you're going to hear the TV, but I just ask you to please look over that. Also, I've gotten some comments about the little clacking noise that you hear sometimes in my videos, and that honestly is just my bracelets. They clack together sometimes and they make the little clicky sounds, so I apologize for that, but those are the sounds you're going to be hearing throughout this video. Okay, I've had a few requests on me doing a video on how I meal plan. And honest to goodness, guys, it's really simple. I don't have any kind of magical tricks to it or anything like that. I'm all for simplicity of doing things the most simplest way that I possibly can. Okay, first you see two books here. This is just like a book that I picked up at my Dollar Tree or King Dollar. It's just like a book meant to be like a diary, but in all honesty, I don't use it for that. I use it to write down the things that I'm going to be cooking for the week. So, as you can see, it has I use the front and the back sheet of each one, and sometimes I go to the grocery store and I only need to pick up maybe 2 or 3 meals, enough to get us through the week because we have other stuff going on to where we won't be eating at home. And other times I need to pick up 6 to 7, sometimes 8, 9 meals, so I don't have to go to the grocery store again for a little bit. Now, I don't plan breakfast and I do not plan lunch. I just make sure I have those types of foods in the house. Because the kids are in school and I'm mostly home by myself throughout the week until I go pick them up from school, and then it's just mostly dinners that all of our entire family is home together for. Every single time that I choose something that I want to make for dinner, I will write it down here and then immediately write the ingredients that I'm going to need to cook it on this piece of paper right here. Then once I get all the ingredients written down, I then rip this out, and in my head, I've been to my grocery store so many times, in my head I know it like the back of my hand. I know which aisles come first. I know pretty much how to navigate the store really quickly. So on a new sheet of paper, I go back through the list of ingredients that I need, and I put those ingredients in order as to how I'm going to come to them in the grocery store. Makes your trip to the grocery store quicker and a lot more efficient. That's what I personally believe. And I would definitely not recommend going to the grocery store without a grocery list. Because then if you're on a budget, especially, which we are, I always budget our groceries. So if you was to go to the grocery store without a grocery list, then chances are you're gonna get things that you don't even need, that you shouldn't even be picking up, and you're gonna go over your budget. So definitely, if you're on a budget especially, do not go to the grocery store without some form of a grocery list. This is one of the weeks that we got some things going on towards the end of the week, so we're not really gonna be home to eat dinners here. So technically, I only need to go shopping for about 3 to 4 meals this week, so it's going to be a very short list. So here are some of the things that I love to use to get my recipes from, to get my meal ideas from. First of all, the very first thing that I love is Pinterest. As you guys can see here, I always have Pinterest up on my computer. I meal plan in front of my computer so I can have my Pinterest up. If you do not have a Pinterest, I would definitely recommend it because it's amazing. There's all kinds of silly little things that you could post on here, as well as really useful things. Like I have a thing for my lists, schedules, and printables, and all kinds of stuff on here. If you guys want to follow me on Pinterest, I'm just under Miss Veronica. I also have a category over here called recipes. It's right beside my haughty board, as you can see. And I have this full of recipes that I would really like to make. So Pinterest is normally my very first place that I come to meal plan. Normally I'm on Pinterest quite a bit during the week, looking at different recipes and things like that for quick meals. One of my favorite ways to cook is with my crock pot. That may not be a lot of people's favorite thing, but for me it's just works for our family. It's nice, it's quick, easy, fast, and I can focus on other things that I need to get done, as well as have a nice meal for my family that evening. The second place that I come is this binder right here. Now this is just the binder that I used that I got picked up at my local Dollar Tree. And I put all of my recipes that I've collected throughout the years from my grandmother, from different recipe sites off the internet. I've collected them all, separated them with these little tabby things that you can get from the Dollar Tree, and that way I know which section is what, and I could turn to it really quickly. This section right here, you guys will see, is mostly just desserts. There's pies, and all different sorts of things in here. Like we have some I've written down on recipe cards and just hole punched them here for strawberry shortcake, triple layer chocolate pie. This green tab right here is for like soups and pasta salads and things like that. This section right here is for a lot of my crock pot recipes. So I have like, you know, everything that I could pretty much make in the crock pot that I have a recipe for will be in this section. The next little tab is the blue tab. For easier crock pot recipes that can't really make a full meal that I'm going to need to cook something else with is normally right here. And then the last tab right here is normally like casseroles and big hearty meals like pasta meals, casserole meals, things like that. You have like lasagna, baked spaghetti, taco bake. You have some how to make crock pot chili, which I love making that chili, but I do not make it in the crock pot. I actually make mine on the stove. You have some meatloaf, just things like that in here. And like I said, it just makes it really, really easy. Some shepherd's pie, things like that, for me to find what I need really, really quickly, and it's just all right here in this one binder. And these little things right here, the baseball card sleeves, I actually used to use these for coupons, but now I use them for like, you know how when you get like a Cool Whip container or something and they have like little recipes on the back of it? Well, I can't really punch holes in those here because they're so awkwardly shaped and they just wouldn't like turn right and look right. So what I do is I just fold them up and I slip them in these little baseball card slots in the back here. So I could still keep them in my binder, but I don't really need to punch holes or anything in them. They're just right here for me to pull out and look. Like we have honey pecan pork chops. This one is one that came from my grandmother from like years ago for zucchini bread. I love her zucchini bread. It's just really, really nice. So this is my meal planning binder, and this is normally the second place that I will come to find recipes. Next place that I will come to is this cookbook right here. It's called Recipes to Remember, and this is actually written by the ladies at a church that I used to go to when I was in my senior year of high school, and they put together these cookbooks of home cooked food, down home cooking type things, and they pretty much sold them. So I got a copy of this. It has everything from appetizers in it to dips to different snack foods. They have it sectioned off as soups and salads and all kinds of things like that. Here's one for vegetable dishes. They have one for main dishes. They have like beef stroganoff, beef barbecue, all kinds of things like that. People often ask me, the reason why I'm showing you guys this is because people often ask me where I get the recipes that I do a lot of my cooking videos on. And that would be these places that I'm showing you guys right now. Last but not least, I do have these two little cookbooks here that I have gotten stuff out of, but not really too much. This is just one for like, it's called A Better Health, a collection of traditional recipes made healthier. So it has like all the different types of foods that you would normally cook, but they try to make them with healthier ingredients to make the dish more healthier. So we have smoothies and all kinds of stuff in here that you can cook, and it's just a really, really nice little book. I can't even remember where I got this. I think it used to be like my aunt's or something. And then we have a book over here for like different cookies and desserts and things like that that I have used a few times too. Mostly I use this one around the holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I have an app on my phone. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here in this folder. It's called Spark Recipes. Now if you guys have been on a weight loss journey, you know about the website called Spark, what is it called, sparkpeople.com or something like that. This is a really, really good app. I love this app. I've had this on my phone ever since I've had my phone, for probably like 4 years now, and it's the only recipe app that I've stuck with, the only recipe app that I have not deleted from my phone. So it's really, really good. I like it because you can choose categories. You can choose like course, cuisine, dietary needs, or occasion. And then all of your favorite recipes, there's a place where you can click favorite. And you can come down here in your favorite section and they'll all show up right here for you to make. And I've made a lot of these. And I really, really like them. I'm actually going to be making this one this week, which is the 5-ingredient soup. and it doesn't really have meat in it. It has refried beans, chicken broth, corn, black beans, and diced tomatoes. So that sounds really, really good. Okay, first meal here, as you guys can see, I've written down the 5-ingredient soup from the Spark Recipe app. Now, over here, I already know that I have these, I already know that I have every single one of these ingredients. So what I would do here is normally, if I didn't have them, I would come to the recipe for the meal that I want to make, and I would just see what I needed, and I would write down each individual ingredient that I would need on this piece of paper, and then I would move on to the next meal that I wanted to cook for the week. So let's go ahead and move on to the next meal. Okay, the next meal that I have is French onion chicken noodle casserole. It's a recipe on my Pinterest. Garlic bread and green beans. So I'm going to come over here. I have the recipe pulled up on Pinterest right here. So what I'm going to do is come over here to my notebook, and I'm just going to write down everything that I need. So I know I'm going to need some chicken. So I always get the chicken tenderloins to do this. They don't have bones in them, and they're just like really, really small, so they work out really well to make dishes like casseroles and stuff. I'm going to need 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, so I'll write that down. Okay, now that I have my grocery list done, I'm just going to share with you guys what we're going to be having this week for dinner. I got enough to make a meal every single evening this week, even though we may not need it. If we do not need it, then they'll just carry over until the following week, and that'll be just a less meal that I'll have to put on next week's grocery list. So we're going to have the 5-ingredient soup with garlic bread. We're going to have the French onion chicken noodle casserole with garlic bread and green beans. We're going to have the taco pasta bake. We're going to have corn and peas with that, with sliced cucumbers and rolls. Then one night we're just going to have my homemade chicken salad, and I do have a recipe video for that on my channel. You can find it under the playlist called Cooking with V. Then one night we're just going to have BLTs, which are bacon, lettuce, and tomato. I use turkey bacon for the BLTs. We do not use regular bacon. Like I said, we're not the most healthy eating family in the world, but whenever I could switch out for better alternatives, I try to do my best. Okay, and then down here on my list, you'll see the extras section. Now, what I like to do sometimes, I don't always do this, but this week I'm going to do this because I found some really nice sounding dessert recipes on Pinterest this past week, and they sounded really, really yummy. So I'm actually going to have a couple of desserts. I'll pick a dinner this week to make it for dessert after one of these meals. Not sure which ones yet, but we're going to have lemon bars, and we're going to have creamy pineapple dessert. And both of those looked really, really good, so that's what our menu for this week looks like. Now what I do is, now that I have my grocery list all written out, this is all the ingredients that I'm going to need, and a few extra things like for the kids' lunch and things like that. Now I'm just going to go down through this list and put everything in order as I come to it in my grocery store on a separate sheet of paper. Okay guys, here we are at the end of the video. This is just a run over of everything I'm going to be getting at the grocery list. The stuff that you see marked out was stuff that I actually put on the list I thought that I was going to need. I never got up and did like a little check before I started writing the final list, and I just put little question marks beside it, and once I finished the list I got up and checked, and I did not need those, so those were scribbled out. But here is what my list consists of. There is a little bit on the back here that you guys see, and I have added all of this up, and I normally come within $1 or $2. Sometimes I'll go $1 or $2 over, or $1 or $2 under. Hopefully this time it will be under. Or actually over, that way my bill will be cheaper. But I've actually the closest I've came with estimating my grocery bill before was when I sent my husband one time, and he did not believe me that I knew the prices as well as I did, and when he came back, he told me that I was 6 cents off from the total of the bill. So I'm pretty confident that I know how much this is going to come to. All the groceries on this list should come to just over $70. I have a few coupons as well. So that leaves us quite a bit of money to finish out the remainder, what, 2.5 weeks of the month without going over grocery budget. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Like I said, this video has been highly requested for a very long time, and I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get to it. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I would really appreciate the thumbs up, and let me know if you guys have any more video requests for me. I'll definitely write them down and get to them as soon as possible. Let me know if you guys plan your menus and your grocery list any other way, and yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye guys.